Now, sometimes AORs are not present in court. According to me, unless the AOR is arguing a matter in some other court where he or she has not engaged a senior counsel and he himself is arguing, there are many cases where the AORs argue on themselves. They have to be present, according to me, when their matter is going on in any court. They cannot be, outside the court hall when their matter is going on, because AOR is primarily, I told you, the parent. Something is missing, some paper is missing, something is not filed. Who is answerable? The person who has filed it. Unless that person is not able to be there because he or she is arguing on his legs in some other court, please ensure that you all are present in the court when the matter which you have filed is coming up before the court. If many matters are coming up at the same time, then you have to see which is more high stakes, whatever, which council you will have to support, or what stakes and which court, what problems, which bench. All that you will have to weigh your options and be present. And then, of course, you'll have to, if an interim order is passed, dismissal, leave granted, whatever, you have to communicate to the local council or whatever. And sometimes it may happen that nobody is there to hold on to that brief. Either the council who could not come from, let's say, Chennai, or any other person, then how are you going to deal with that brief? It has come up. You should know something at least to say in the court, not just a filing counsel. You are an advocate basically. Incidentally, you pass the AOR exam, you get a privilege. But if they remove this AOR tag, everybody can file in the Supreme Court. But AORs are given this privilege because it is these people, advocates, who are within, I think, some radius in Delhi, etc., for the purpose of service. India is a vast country. For the purpose of service of IAS or whatever, the advocates, that is very rationale for it. You can't be in all over the country and file. But, the threat of virtual hearing would mean that there can be virtual filing also. Then what would happen to the AORs? So therefore, you must ensure that your position is maintained. For that, you must see that you are required. You must become inevitable in the Supreme Court, so that tomorrow they should not say you can file it from Calcutta, you can file it. AORs are not required. That situation should not come. You should be so inevitable, and that system must continue. Therefore, how you as a group of AORs are going to make yourselves inevitable is by being present, and all these things you have to take care, which means that people depend upon you. The party or the briefing council or the council who has brought the case to you, or somebody who has sent it from Andaman or even Kanyakumari, Kashmir, wherever, etc. You must have this goodwill gestures towards all your persons who are going to give you the cases, and right from the time it is filed till the matter is disposed of and beyond, till you give the certified copy, etc., you are the parent of that case. So therefore, please keep this in mind. The entire Supreme Court, according to me, functions because of the efficiency of the AORs. And it is a skill coupled with expertise, coupled with responsibility. And you will have to inform, if you have engaged the counsel on your own, what happened to the case, etc. Give a copy, talk to the senior, whatever, all that. You would have seen, because you are all, I think, 5 years. What is the minimum practice?
Yes, 5 years.
5 years you would have known all this, observed. But what I'm trying to emphasize is your role is very crucial, and therefore your presence in the court, as far as possible, when your case is listed, ultimately whose name is shown in the cause list. Do they show?
AOR.
Only AOR's name is shown in the cause list. Therefore, your presence, even if you have done nothing except sign the wakalat or done nothing except sign the memorandum of SLP, you should still be present on that day when the case is coming up, because you are really handling the whole show for that particular case, and take responsibility for the brief. No brief should go without the parent. Dismiss for default or anything like that. Therefore, you are really the fulcrum on which the entire Supreme Court functions. You have this privilege, you have this responsibility, and please ensure that the position of the AORs is inevitable in the system in Supreme Court. They should not do away with it, because now virtual filing is there, for virtual hearing is there. Then why everything? They can scan copies, no? And what you call serve copies by scan. That should not undermine your position in Supreme Court. That is what I am trying to say. Then, of course, you should know the Supreme Court rules through and through, because it is through that, those rules only you are filing all the formats, etc., which I told you. Then this human resource management council coming from some state. A Bombay council is different from a council from Chennai, who is different from a council from Bhubaneswar, who is different from a council from Lucknow. You should be able to know human resource management, how you are going to talk to them, how you are going to make them comfortable. Because normally, I think the council from the high courts, they usually have 1 or 2 AORs. They won't give every case, they get to different AORs. They normally have 1, 2 or 3, correct? So you must also retain your position with the council throughout the country. If you are having a particular state, well and good, or 2, 3 states, well and good. This is all part of your relationship which you have, the goodwill that you generate, and once, I am telling you, once the council from any state finds that you are responsible for the brief, yes, if I have handed over, that is enough. That council will not come at all. They will really trust you. So that kind of trust you must build with the initially, because it's like a new entry. When you enter the bar, what you have to do? When you start your own office, how you have to be? So now you will enter this particular position. There again, it's a new, you see, entry, and you have to see that you maintain all these things in order to sustain yourself as an AOR, and ultimately see that you graduate from being merely an AOR to an arguing counsel and to a senior counsel, and if you are really good enough, to a Supreme Court judge or a High Court judge. That should be the kind of ambition that you must have. Am I not correct, sir?
Yes.
That should be, don't continue to remain, I am an AOR, I have achieved everything in life. No. That is only a first step according to me. Second aspect is those AORs who are lucky enough to get the cases from a particular state because they have come from a particular state, Orissa or Madhya Pradesh. Many of them, they go to the particular high courts in summer vacation, December vacation. They go and interact with the counsel who have sent them the briefs. You please do that. And what I used to do as an advocate in Bangalore was, when my AOR came to Bangalore in summer holidays, I would call all my clients who had cases in Supreme Court to my chamber, and the AOR will also come, and he will ensure that he interacts with the client face to face. If he knows the language of the client, local language, if he belongs to that state, well and good. See, that face-to-face interaction is missing in Supreme Court. That is most crucial. The tears in the eyes of the clients, the anxiety in the face of the clients, the tension that they have is something which you must realize, and which, because of your position here and the distance, etc., you cannot really fathom it or gather it from your clients. But I used to do that kind of a liaising between the clients and my AOR, who would understand what has to be done. Some IA has to be done there, and then affidavit would be signed, etc. I would give my office to him, and he would take back and then give the verifying affidavit, whatever, that kind of a thing was done. So if you are going to the respective states, when you are interacting, if there is any problem, you tell your client, the advocate, who has sent you the brief, look, I would like to discuss on this aspect. The client and the advocate would be so much grateful to you, because you would have cleared, especially if you are arguing the matter, or even if you have to brief the senior counsel for getting a clarity. See, the system is such that you are not able to meet the client, or you please have a Zoom meeting. Now we have virtual thing. Have a Zoom meeting with your client. Every client cannot come to Delhi and interact with that person. What exactly is the problem in that thing? Why this document was not produced, or why that document was relied upon, or any other particular query you want to ask. You can have FaceTime now. FaceTime is also there. It will be very much appreciated, because you will get the human element of the case. Not that you don't realize it, but you will get it in reality. Otherwise, you would have discerned it on your own. Those who have the ability to discern it, they would have discerned it. What is the problem in the case? But now, when they come and tell you either on FaceTime or Zoom meeting or face to face, when you go there, you will know what exactly is troubling the litigant and how you have to tackle. The litigant himself may give you the answer to the query which the advocate was not told. So these are all some of the tips which I am giving as a practitioner, what I had, and how you can build up your advocacy as an AOR. As I told you, not just remaining as an AOR, but as moving up the ladder.